crying? Anybody losing sleep? Anybody nervous about tomorrow? Any news? Anybody scared? And when you wake up, the world is going to be a completely different place. Huh? Any insomnia cookies? Who's going through it, man? Who's going through it? You're going down to the wire. So far, the race seems to be pretty determined. Not determined as far as over, but determined as far as who's leading. We're no longer in New York City. We were in Washington Heights, trying to get a pulse, a feel of what it is that the people have to say. They were a bit mute, didn't really have much to say, but definitely want to send a shout out to the chat. We had people from Germany. We had people from where? Bulgaria. We had people from Mexico, all throughout the country. Cast their crowns ink. That was a beautiful thing. We had somebody step up, spoke their piece, addressed what their concerns were heading into this cycle. How much, really, how does life work? How does life work? Is life in itself broken up and fragmented into the components of the election cycle? Does your life run on a 4-year basis, Like, is your life designed to go through such a change every 4 years? Makes you wonder, why exactly is it 4 years? And do you expect major changes in your life within a 4-year span? What happens that now all of a sudden you're ready for this like great continental shift in your life by a new administration coming in? What exactly is it that's happening? And is that how your life plays out? By the time you complete 4 years of life, you're ready to reconsider which direction you're headed in life. Is your life really like that? Or is your life somewhat consistent? Hola, buenas. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for checking in. So, in America, we don't know how many other places in the world, but it's election day. It's the night of. We're going to find out who's the new presidente, right? What's going on? Salute to you. Everything cool, D-fam? Everything cool, gang? The question I'm asking is, life in itself, is your life on a cycle that every 4 years it changes? Does your life really align with the election cycle? Is that how life really works, right? Because we were born, then we got to 4. Appreciate you, man. Love to you too. Definitely appreciate that. For real, for real. You're 4, then you turn 5. It seems like life is kind of like maybe on a 5-year or a 10-year change, not so much 4 years. So 4 years ago, were you in a much different place than you are today? And do you expect your life to be significantly different 4 years from now? Black for Trump. All right. Hey, do what you do. You know what I mean? So he's definitely in the lead right now. Quite honestly, I think he's gonna take it. I don't think he's not gonna take it. I think he's gonna take it. Um, Kamala Harris seems to be a lot of fanfare, and it's a lot of hot air. And I'm not even necessarily saying so much from her, more so from the people who support her or who back her. I never really am sold on somebody who wants to back somebody by trying to insult you or try to make it seem you have to. Oh, I appreciate the subs. I definitely appreciate the subs, D-Fam. We got a lot. I'm going to let you know. We got a lot of content, a lot of great conversations. We have a lot of great interviews in the tuck. We got civil rights attorneys. We got artists. we have dentists, we got doctors, we got principals, we got gangsters, we got we got a lot going on. We got a whole lot. The more this channel builds and grows, we got a lot of stuff going on. Real influential people. But the the Kamala Harris train seems to be more so like, what you mean you're not voting for Kamala Harris, as opposed to why you should vote for Kamala Harris. And if she really and truly is a person of such substance of why one should vote for her, then there should be something you could bring to the table. There should be something you can bring to the table to say this is why we need to back Kamala Harris. And it's not things that's on a superficial level. So she's losing at the moment. She can always win. You never know. These things go down to the wire. But, Trump is definitely in the lead. Not hearing nothing about the other two guys. Yesterday we were in Washington Heights, New York City, uptown. Now we're in a remote location. We're in the files. You see the file cabinet back there. We in the files. We tending to some business, checking in with the people, seeing how everybody stands. Where's everybody at? And really and truly, does your life work in that? Are you, if you're 24, by the time you're 28, and it's the next cycle on deck, are you looking to make a major change in your life? Are you looking to about face, or are you looking to redirect the course of your ship? Or are you pretty much consistent? Do you just reach a determination of where you want to go in life and you know how you want to get there? And that's it. You're not really too deterred by the election cycle. You pretty much know what you're going to do, how you're going to do it. And, it's not necessarily a knock against you, and it's not necessarily something in your favor. You know which way you want to go, and that's it. Is your job impacted by who's elected in the office? Is the way of how you view your family life, is that impacted by who may be in office? Is that what you base your family on? Is that what you base your relationship on? Are you considering getting married? And you want to look at who's going to be in office to determine whether or not you're going to get married. Do people really think about these things? How much down to the meat and potatoes of life do you get to when it comes to who's running for office? How much does it concern you? So we got a lot going on. We got a lot to see. Appreciate the likes from you guys. Cast their Crowns Inc. Like I said, we got so much more. We, of the people, we always interact with people. We've done community events. We're going to do a lot more. We got inmates to see. We got the youth to get involved with. We got couples. That's always a big thing. Family couples. I'm a particular man. I've been married for a very long time, over 20 years, which is almost unheard of in these days and times, at least in America. I've been in education. I've since resigned from it, but I've been in the educational field going on 18 years. I was in the educational field. New York City, New England, North Carolina, been several places, different stages and phases in the United States of America. And I've seen what education looks like firsthand in the educational system. And I've been fortunate enough to be successful in all three. So know what that is like. And when you're involved in education, when you deal with people that's younger, it's not like you can necessarily tell the future, but you can see what's on the horizon. You're not really shocked when you see how things end up with adults. So the way of how people speak about young people today, and they speak about maybe people in their 20s or early 20s, if you're involved in education, And if you were involved with high school students or you were teaching middle school, you see what starts to enter into the fold. You see how people are starting to be shaped and directed. So when they're 14, 15, even 11, 5, 7 years from now, when you see how they are as an adult, what's going on? Appreciate that. You too. Hit that like button on your way, or if you hanging out, hang out. So you get kind of a vantage point over how society ends up because you're dealing with the younger members of society. You're dealing with the ones that's going to either be shaped by society or the ones that might be strong enough to shape their own society. So those are some of the advantages of being involved in education because you see how it is that people are going to be in the future. So many of the complaints that people have about the youth today, I saw it coming a mile away. But the thing is that people always like to blame who's next, but that's not really right because you have to look at who's setting up who's next. So if you were looking at how the bulk of parents were a generation or two ago, then you have a better understanding over how that next generation of children are. You get a much greater understanding, but people are typically lazy. They just want to blame the generation that follows. Today's generation is da 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 da. Yeah, but today's generation is not the one who said they don't need to follow rules. That was 2 generations ago where people were saying, I don't need to listen to anybody. You do what you want to do. Live life the way how you want to live life. Only God can judge me, right? All of that meant do whatever the hell you want to do. So if you became a parent and that was your attitude and you adopted to that way of living, which was reckless, what do you expect from children? If you wanted to be involved in relationships and say we don't need to put a label on it and why we need to do this and why we need to do that and just live your life and do whatever makes you happy and all of these type of things, can you really set up structure when it comes to children that way? What are they going to see in you? Are they going to see discipline in you? Are they going to see guidance? Are they going to see parameters? Or are they going to see the people that's older in their life doing whatever it is they want to do? Basically just living like a teenager, because a teenager is going to hit that phase where they're really going to have to struggle with, but I want to do this. I know I'm supposed to do that, but I want to do this. So how do I find myself in the right frame of mind and on the straight and narrow where I know I want to do this, but I'm not supposed to? I got to stick to what it is I'm supposed to do. The older generations was laying it out for children to now fall victim in that. But they want to blame them and say, they're like this. They don't listen. They don't believe in this. They don't, it's like they'll just throw it all away. They didn't decide to be that way. We decided for them to be that way. We were the ones talking like that. The 90s was talking like that. The 90s was saying marry whoever you want. As a matter of fact, forget marriage. Just go after the career. Forget family values. Forget all of that. Why does it have to be that way? It could be this way. And now we see the fruits of those labors. So that's some of the advantage you have when you're involved in education because you actually sit down and you have conversations with parents. If you're a sincere staff member, you look parents in the eyes and you hear what their concerns are and you see how they're starting to lose a grip and you see how institutions are starting to get a stronghold on children and how so many parents are basically just voluntarily giving their children over to these institutions and these systems. And you see the subculture that comes about. So now, once those kids become adults, you get it because you saw it from 5, 7, possibly 10 years ago. You saw it's happening from back then. You saw how the parents were. You saw how parents were complaining about things regarding their children, but yet they were making no decisions regarding their children. They were not providing any form of guidance or structure which can deny their child access to things that they knew very well was going to harm them. It's as if they were just afraid from what society would say about that child making a choice and that child has a right to choose. Choose what exactly? What are you saying that child has a right to choose? Because if you as a parent don't do, then that's called neglect. So why get caught up in the societal wave and effort of what they're putting out there for you as a parent to think you can't make decisions regarding your children? That's just insane. But these are the things of what was happening. These are the things of what was setting up our future to be so disastrous, the way how it is today. So, again, it didn't start with them. They are just the byproduct of what it was that was done, like I said, 2 generations ago, 1 generation ago. You started to see where parents did a lot more things in the presence of their children, where typically in older generations, parents outside of just parenting didn't want to have any form of social life in the presence of their children. That wasn't appropriate. When you were hanging out with your friends, you weren't with your friends and your kids. Your kids were with you. And then when it was nighttime, you were with your friends or with other family. The kids weren't around for that. They had to be around other kids. But that also was part of family. So family members would come over and would socialize and play cards and dominoes and things like that. But when the family structure gets broken down, you don't have those things anymore. Now it's just basically just the parent, may more so be one parent, typically the mom, and her friends and the kids. But everything of what they're doing is during the day. So they're going out, they're going shopping, they're going to the mall, they're going to Dave and Buster's, or they're going to some other form of arcade, amusement park, whatever the case may be. And parents are spending time with their kids as if their kids are of the age or same maturation level as the parent. So you see them socializing. The kids start talking like they talking to their friends, start talking slick and all of this type of stuff because they're picking up on the verbiage and they're picking up on the attitude as mommy and her friends. So they start advancing in their vocabulary and they start advancing in a particular attitude. And I'm not saying like a negative attitude, I'm just saying the attitude of what's being portrayed, right? The attitude, the culture, that's the bond amongst these friends. So they start to pick up on that. And then you see that. You see children who seem to be more so under the influence of their mother and their mother's friends, as opposed to where children's maturity was taking longer to come to fruition because they were constantly in the presence of other kids and then parents, as opposed to just one parent, they were together with their friends and the children weren't with them. Any child that's constantly around adults is going to have to learn how to be acclimated to be in the company of adults, unless the adults say, yes, you're in our company. However, you're not physically staying in that section, but when it comes down to how you interact with us, you interact with us as a child. You're not going to interact with us as if you're one of us, right? Excuse me. So these are some of the things that start to change in households. You know, it's a change. And then children don't necessarily have a balance in their upbringing because you started to see the state get more involved in children and their upbringing. You start to see educational systems get more so involved in the children and their upbringing. It's a completely different outcome of a younger person's life when they have those entities that's a part of their life as opposed to that family structure and unit that they had some time ago. So that's the world in which we live in. Now, are the people who are running for office, are they going to be taking the oath to actually fix issues that's affecting households? Are they going to be taking oath to fixing these United States of America? Are they going to be helping us out? And what exactly does that help look like? So, going down to it, y'all. It's election night. Casted Crowns Inc. We appreciate the likes. We appreciate the subs. We appreciate those in the chat. It's definitely good to see you guys. Hope you guys stay safe out there. Hope nobody has a real stressful night. Hopefully everything goes good with y'all. And with that being said, it was definitely good to see you guys. Definitely good to see you guys on the check-in. We appreciate y'all. Live and direct, live on the set. Casted Crowns Inc. Peace. You guys be safe. Salute to all of you.